Imagine arriving in a land where winter stretches for months, food is scarce, and the landscape is as unforgiving as it is beautiful. Over 10,000 years ago, the first humans ventured into Scandinavia, a region just freed from the grip of massive glaciers. Even today, the Scandinavian winter isn't exactly welcoming, so how did early humans survive in such a harsh, untamed wilderness? In this video, we'll uncover the secrets of their survival, how they found food, created shelter, and adapted to the extreme environment. Stay with us as we dive into the incredible story of the first Scandinavians, where every decision was a matter of life and death. The first Scandinavians were nomadic hunter-gatherers, likely migrating north from Central Europe around 12,000 years ago, following the movement of game animals and seeking new unoccupied lands. The warming climate after the Ice Age opened up opportunities for survival, as the once frozen landscape transformed into forests and tundra, home to wildlife like reindeer and elk. But despite the new possibilities, survival here was anything but easy. At the heart of their survival was the ability to hunt and fish. Early Scandinavians were expert hunters, stalking large game like reindeer, elk, and wild boar. These animals not only provided a vital source of meat, but also fur to make clothing and bones to craft tools. Fishing was another cornerstone of their diet. Living near the coastlines and abundant rivers, they caught fish like cod, herring, and salmon. Fish was an essential food, especially during the long, cold winters when hunting became difficult. To ensure they had enough food year-round, they dried and smoked the fish to preserve it for months on end. Yet, survival wasn't all about meat and fish. Foraging for wild plants was just as crucial. Scandinavia's forests offered a variety of edible plants and berries. Berries such as lingonberries, bilberries, and cranberries were not only rich in vitamins, but could also be stored for winter. They gathered wild herbs, nuts, and mushrooms, adding vital nutrients to their diet. As their communities grew, early Scandinavians began to experiment with agriculture. Farming was a difficult task in such an inhospitable region, but they found ways to make it work. Barley and oats became staple crops because they were hardy enough to survive the short growing season. These grains were used to make simple porridges, breads, and even beer. Yes, beer! In fact, early Scandinavians brewed a rudimentary form of beer using barley. This drink wasn't the same as the modern beer we know today. It was likely weaker, less filtered, and a bit gruel-like, but it provided valuable calories and, more importantly, a safe source of hydration. In an age where water sources could be contaminated, fermented drinks like beer were a safer option. Livestock also played a significant role in their diet. Early Scandinavians raised sheep, goats, and cattle, providing a steady supply of meat, milk, and wool. Dairy products were important as well. Milk was not only consumed, but also used to make butter and cheese, which could be stored for winter. Preservation techniques were vital for survival in a region with short growing seasons. They dried, smoked, and salted meat and fish to prevent spoilage and employed fermentation to preserve milk, producing yogurt and sour milk, which provided essential nutrition during times when fresh food was scarce. Despite the challenges, early Scandinavians didn't just survive. They thrived by adapting to their environment through their mastery of hunting, fishing, farming, and food preservation. These skills were essential for overcoming extreme conditions and laid the groundwork for a rich culture that would eventually blossom into the Viking Age. Following migrating animals to new lands after the Ice Age, they honed their abilities and learned to cultivate and preserve food in harsh seasons. From reindeer hunts to early agriculture and brewing beer from barley, they found ways to thrive in a land where nature was both their greatest ally and threat.